Hello again guys, welcome back to the channel. And yes, I will be getting these tanks in at every possible moment. So I'm cleaning this 19 litre keg at the minute, and I've just got some hot caustic and I've cleaned it and I've rinsed it out, and I've just collected some of that rinse water in here and added some phenolphthalein, which is like an indicator. So it's not gone purple, which means that I've washed all the caustic out. But I thought I'd just do a little experiment, so I've got some caustic in a spoon and dropped it in. So you can see if there's caustic present, it goes bright pink. So obviously, because it wasn't, I know I've rinsed it thoroughly. But yeah, just something quite interesting and not something I knew before. So the keg is now sanitized and purged, so I'm going to leave that just for a couple of hours. And now what I'm doing is stripping down the brew tools system, give it a little rinse on the inside, and I'm just going to take all this off now, put it in there whilst that's soaking away. I'm then going to try and set up just a water rinse on the tanks. So like my concern is I've got like a submersible pump, so obviously I've got to think, how do I get from in the bottom of the tank to in there? Do I cut a hole in the bottom so it runs in? I might have to do that. I might just try and do it up and over, I don't know. I'll muck about with it and see what I can do. Right, so got the water in, got it set up to the blow off arm. That's going to come round, going to come up through out of the spray ball. That's going to fill up the cone, and then it's just a bit too tall, the bucket. However, the feet should actually be sat on them, so I'm going to get these on the legs just to lift it up ever so slightly, and then, well, maybe later on today I'll do that once I've tested this out. So yeah, let's test it out. Figured I might as well record it, because if it goes wrong, maybe it'll be some funny content. Anyway, so the hose came off this. Obviously the back pressure must have been a little bit too much, but I knew something like that had happened. Clamp on, attempt to. So we have a slight leak, so I'll just tighten that up. But other than that, seems to be all right. So I think it was around 20 litres. It's on almost 10 litres now. So 10 litres has gone through. I'm almost at the racking point, so it's not as much dead space as what I thought, which is good. Let's see if we can keep it going as a continual loop now. That's been tightened up at the back, so that should stop leaking now. And got it propped up, so it's going back into the bucket. Let's see how we get on. Forgot to put the clamps on. I'm paranoid now. Okay, let's give it a go. Fourth time. So it was emptying the bucket a little bit quicker than what gravity could feed back into it. So like the level was dropping in the bucket. So I had to just gag the flow a touch just to kind of get it balanced. So what I'm gonna need to buy is another one of these hose fittings, just so I can stick one on the end of here back into the bucket, just as a temporary solution. Obviously I don't think having chemicals kind of splashing around is good, but until I can get some money into the business and then I can buy myself a pump. I think they're around about £300 for a small centrifugal pump, which will be ideal. So delivery number 2 for today is from Murphy's. All my new chemicals, my yeast, and an extra bag of grain, because I definitely needed that for today, but it got me over the minimum order, so I thought Saturday. So yesterday all the grain arrived and the chemicals. Me and my dad have quickly just threw up a little shelf, literally trying to maximise the space that we have. I doubt I'll ever really have this much malt. Well, I'll say I'll probably have to order this every couple of months. My plan is put another shelf in here, and then I can just use the top space for kegs and casks and or any others. I'll just have to stick down the side of the house, I think. So the passageway down the middle is rather small and cosy, but it is what it is, and I'm sure I'll be fine. So we've got a few different chemicals here. So we've got a NiPAC B. So this is a nitric and a phosphoric acid blend, and that's what I'll be using tomorrow to passivate the tanks. And we also have some peracetic acid, which is just like 70% ethanol, I think. And that's basically just as like, that's the kind of thing you use just to spray on your sample ports before you grab a sample, just to sterilize it. And then we've got a caustic cleaner, which is called SteriCleanse #1. And then we've got Antiformin S, which is I think contains a very small amount of bleach, sodium hypochlorite, and that's like a floor cleaner, an external surface cleaner. You can clean the insides of tanks with it, but I don't think I'll be using it for that. So yeah, tomorrow's just going to be a cleaning day, kind of an organisation day, because there's kind of boxes and rubbish everywhere, and it all kind of just needs sorting, straightening up. I need to find a place for everything. And then Monday should be my first commercial brew day, which is really exciting. Cannot wait. Thought I'd explain the malt a bit. So I think for home brewers, I think you're paying like £50-60, maybe a little more for some varieties of malt. for 125 kilo sack. So if you order from Crisp, there's a minimum order of half a ton or 20 bags. So with 20 bags plus the delivery fee, you're looking at around £23.50 per bag. So I have a blend of pale malt, torrefied oats, and pale wheat. And you can never have two little malts. And also picked up some Murphy's yeast aid, so I'll be using that. So it's now the following day, and I am putting the Brew Tools B150 back together just at the side of me here. Dipped into my chemicals for the first time, so I've got a jug of peracetic acid here just for sterilising. All the parts of the Brew Tools have just been sat in a bucket of caustic just for a couple of days, so I've given them a thorough rinse and a little bit of sanitizer to go on them now just as I pop them back together. I will be doing a full cleaning cycle, but this just ensures that there's no kind of grime hidden anywhere, any nooks and crannies, so just stripped everything down. But the middle of the actual Brew Tool system still needs a clean. There's some stain in there. One of the chemicals I've got is quite good for tannin stains. The anti-foaming S apparently is quite good for tannin stains, like the brown discoloration you get on your mash vessels. So I'm going to use that. Let's crack on. So I've put all the pipework back together. This is going to be my transfer hose, and it does just about reach that tank in its current position. So I might just have to pull it forward ever so slightly. So just got some water going around the CIP arm, just checking for leaks, making sure there's no issues. One thing I learned in my course, that you should always run the cycle with water first, ensure that there's no issues, no valves accidentally left open, and once you're happy with the water, then you can add the chemicals. So got me all the safety data sheets with the instructions of how to use all my chemicals. So I'm just gonna pick the anti-foaminess, I think, for today, just because there is some staining on the inside. So I'm just going to read the sheet now, see what it says, and add it in. So the CIPing of the Brew Tool system is now done, all popped back together, and now I'm going to be passivating my tanks. I will be, just because of the setup that I've got with like the submersible pump, obviously very likely going to splash about, so I've got some kind of chemical protection, and I really want to concentrate on that, so I won't be recording it. But essentially I'll be putting the NIPAC B, it's called, so just putting that round at a 4% strength for about 15 minutes, and that's all it'll need. And then that should put like an oxide layer on the inside of the tank and just help protect it from the beer. And then pretty much once I've done that, I'm gonna just wipe down all the surfaces, clean the floors, and then I'm ready for my first brew day. Yeah, and I'm kind of hoping to squeeze 2 brew days in before I go back to work on Friday. But yeah, looking forward to it. So that actually went pretty well. No real issues. Gave them about 20 minutes each, recirculating the acid around. Lovely. And yeah, so now I've done the passivating, we're essentially ready. Nice and shiny. What I actually, it completely slipped my mind. How it did, I don't know. I need to connect up my cooling system. If you come under here, you can see this is the inlet for the cooling, and then that'll fill up the jacket up the side, and I can find it. There it is. Just the and that's the obviously outlet at the back. And I managed to get these chillers. So there's 3 there. I'll be using 1 per tank. So the idea is I'm gonna throw them in the middle, have them controlled. By one of these little ink birds. I really would like to use the temperature probe though, that is supplied with the tanks. See that at the back? Just because I imagine they'll probably be a lot more accurate. The thermal well goes right in, got like 4 or 5 inches into the beer. So I imagine it will be better to use that. But yeah, 1 step closer, everything's clean. Just sort out the temperature control and I should be good to go. So I've just ran to B&Q and just bought like a washing machine hose. So that's the inlet of the jacket. So I'm probably just gonna cut this hose and then see if I can clip it onto one of them silver fittings there. And then I need to grab the fitting from around the back where it comes out, but let's see how I get on. Now I don't know whether this would be absolutely ridiculous, but I had a little white bucket there and I had like this little tap fitting on it. It's a bit grubby, it needs clean, but I was like, I wonder if that would fit in the back, and then I could just attach this little clear hose to that around the back, and then the other end would just go back in to the chiller. Let's see. There's not actually enough clearance. I need to try and move the tank out a touch. Perfect. It'd work, in theory. So, let's get this cleaned, get some PTFE tape on it and see if I can get it working. Okay, so I've got it all nice and clean. Yeah, so I'm just gonna throw a bit of PTFE tape on. An angle of me fitting this in. Now we just need to get it connected up to the chiller. So we have success, the loop is completed, and you can kind of see a slight flow through there, and it stopped. It's a very slight leak now. It seems to be working okay. It's getting a little bit cold, so what I'll have to do next, obviously for the first few days of fermentation, my beer is going to be around 20 degrees. So it probably won't be kicking in too much, but what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be getting some lagging on these pipes just to try and save a little bit of energy and just try and neaten things up a bit as well. But yeah, let's get this into place and clean up this little mess. So that's in place. Ready for my brew day tomorrow. I've got about 80 litres in there. So now my next job is to weigh out the grains. Throw them in there into that bucket, and I'll just leave it at the side, ready for tomorrow.